Hello, beautiful people, future me. Welcome to another programming workout of mine, and we will be doing programming typing exercise and then 25 minutes um, of Spring. That's what we do. So let's get into it. Java Guau. Okay. this is long. Okay. 8%. Oh well, it is what it is. So we'll kill this timer and we'll start the typing timer. And I will go to, well, that was, I want to look at my notes. That was learning. Okay, and those are my notes, so I should be in here. Close this guy. And I will continue in the Spring dependency injection. Okay, okay, this guy, okay. Okay, 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 okay. Spring dependency injection. And I will, okay, the project, did I note the project? I probably did not, okay, so that was example, Spring example, okay, Spring example is the project. We'll open it in this window. Yes, terminate. Okay. So go away. Source, yeah, we were doing that, and I was in the beans. That was the inheritance, and the main lesson was that it has nothing to do with the classes by themselves. It is just in here. This is abstract, that, and here we have the parent specified as the bean template over there. So let's just continue, shall we? So here, dependency injection. Every Java-based application has a few objects that work together to present what the end user sees as a working application. When writing a complex Java application, application classes should be as independent as possible of other Java classes to increase the possibility to reuse these classes and to test them independently of other classes while unit testing. Dependency injection, or sometimes called biring, helps in gluing these classes together and at the same time keeping them independent. Consider you have an application which has a text editor component that you want to provide a spell check. Your standard code would look something like this. So we have a text editor, and then we have a private spell checker, and this is the tightly coupled, tight coupling, I think. And we are creating a new spell checker. Okay. What we've done here is to create a dependency between the text editor and the spell checker. In an inversion control scenario, we would instead do something like this. Private spell checker, and we are, okay, so the tight coupling is here. We put in spell checker, and it said this spell checker, okay. Here, the text editor should not worry about spell checker implementation. So we are giving here the instance, not creating it here. The spell checker will be implemented independently and will be provided to the text editor at the same time of text editor instantiation. This entire procedure is controlled by the Spring framework. Here we have removed total control from the text editor and kept it somewhere else. It as XML configuration file. And the dependency, it as class spellchecker, is being injected into the class text editor through a class constructor. So in a class constructor, thus the flow of control has been inverted by dependency injection, because you have effectively delegated dependencies to some external system. The second method of injecting dependency is through setter methods of the text editor class, where we will create a spellchecker instance. This instance will be used to call setter methods to initialize text editor's properties. Thus, dependency injection exists in two major variants, and the following two subchapters will cover both of them with examples. So we have that. Dependency injection, and here is inner beans, injection collections, auto wiring. Run. So the instance will be used to call setter methods to initialize the text editor properties. Thus, dependency injection exists in two major variants, and the following two subchapters will cover both them with examples. And constructor-based dependency injection is accomplished when the container invokes a class constructor with a number of arguments, each representing dependency on the other class. Setter-based dependency injection is accomplished by the container calling setter methods on your beans after invoking no argument constructor or no argument static factory method to instantiate your bean. You can mix both constructor-based and setter-based DI, but it's good rule of thumb to use constructor arguments for mandatory dependencies and setters for optional dependencies. The code is cleaner with the dependency injection principle, and the coupling is more effective when objects are provided with their dependencies. Objects are provided with their dependencies. The object does not look up its dependencies and does not know the location or class of the dependencies. Rather, everything is taken care by the Spring framework. Alright, so go to next, and it is Spring injector inner beans. We're injecting inner beans. As you know, Java inner classes are defined within the scope of other classes. Similarly, inner beans are beans that are defined within the scope of another bean. Thus, a bean element inside the property of constructor arc elements is called inner bean and it's shown below. So we have a property, we put a name on it, and then we put bean inside of it. Okay. So then we have an example. Maybe I can create another. Oh, maybe next time. I will just keep the project I have for the time being. So spring example, we do external jars. We do in the Spring create a text editor, spell checker, and main app under const tutorial package. Okay, so we can do that. Uh, text editor. So we'll do class text editor would be the first one. And then spell checker. And I want that you go away. Java class spell checker. Spell checker, and then we will do main app. Main app I do have. Let's create the beans. We do have it. The final step is to create the content of all the Java files and bean configuration file and run the application as explained below. So this is a text editor. Text editor has a spell checker. And there's a setter for spell checker. There's a getter for spell checker. And we have a spell check. Okay. I have the spell checker, so spell checker and check. Okay. So we do the spell checker. And first will be the constructor. Constructor. What happened to my monitor? It went away. Okay. That was no argument, right? Yeah. Site. Spell check. Spell checker constructor. And then we will have a getters and setters. I don't have, well, no, just spell check. That was spell check? Yeah, it was spell check. So public void spell check, and here we will print out inside spell check, for example. Sure, and then we will have that guy over here that will be private. Then we will have a setter, getter. We will use the implicit thing and then spell check. Okay. Private spell checker, and then we will have getter and setter. Yeah, those two. and then we will have a method, and we will say um, spell checker, spell check. Here we go. Check spelling. Here's rename too. Okay, good. Now we will go to how do I do that? Well, I will try to guess. So I think when you go to the beans XML, and I think I'll leave those. And here I will have a bean. ID will be text editor. Text editor class. What's the problem here? Welcome dot example dot and oh, come on, text editor. Here we go. And over here. Over here. We'll have a property. Name will spell checker. Yeah. Here we go. And then inside of here, and we will have a bean. And I'll say class equal com dot example dot, and this will spell checker like so. Is that correct? So we got those, I think. Then we have the spell checker. That's okay. And main app, we create a context. It's just application context. Okay, then we create a text editor and we spell check on it. Okay, so let's do that. App. I will comment those out. It's not needed right now. I have the context, so I will create the text editor, and it will be context dot get bean, and the bean is text editor, I believe, and then I will extract this to a variable text editor. Here we go. And then on the text editor, I will call that method, whatever that was, spell check. There we go. Oh, that might even run. Let's try it. Inside logical constructor inside. Okay, that works. And in here I did it. Okay, so there's ID, which I did not specify, but it worked anyway. Logical constructor. Okay, so maybe it did omit one thing, and that is logical constructor. Then is inside spellchecker. Or inside spell check. Okay, and check spelling. Okay, so inside set spell check is what I'm missing in there, so it works. So, that is the setter. So inside text. Enter set spell checker. Yeah, now it should run the same way. So this one is using the setter, and the setter is done by setting it in the beans, like so. Maybe I don't need you. Okay, so this is how you do it. You say, but they had the ID on a bean for some reason. ID until the spell checker. Does it change anything if I run it again? Well, if so, I don't see it. So we've got that. We've got that, and this is the thing. Okay, so next thing will be, so this is inner beans, and this is Spring injecting collection. Yeah, in my notes. Okay. Go here. You have seen how to configure a primitive data type using value attribute and object references using ref attribute. Really? That's completely new to me. Where did you told me about it? Primitive data, ref attribute. Object is ref and this is value. So the bean definition, maybe it would be where it was value and ref. Bean. No, there's nothing about the properties. Prototype. Nothing about that. Prototype. Bean lifecycle. Yeah, this is initialization and destruction, which I already forgot about. Oh well, we are done. because this of the time done is better than perfect. And I will see you next time. Bye.